Yeah, I know I didn't need another radio. I get it. I understand. But I have a specific need in mind. When off-roading, I want to be able to hand somebody a radio and know it's going to work. Hi, I'm Adventurecruiser. I've got a little bit of a problem. A radio problem, that is. Yeah, I like radios. A bit too much. My fascination with radios started with this very radio. My dad got it for me when I was 7. My sister got a horse. One of us got the better end of that deal. I still have my radio. But we bought that radio so that we could talk to each other while we were out in the mountains and my sister was riding a horse, not really knowing that it was a Marine Band radio and we shouldn't have done that. Fast forwarding a few years, I still have a fascination of radios and quite a collection of them, it seems. They just keep multiplying. I'm gonna have to talk to the UPS man about that one. Needless to say, I still really like radios and I have a very specific need in mind for my radios right now. Off-roading. I'm not really going to say overlanding because I don't camp for more than 2 nights, but I love exploring. One of the challenges I've come across while off-roading in the United States is that oftentimes ham radios are not the best for the application. The biggest challenge is you really need a license to operate these within the ham bands, and they're not rated to transmit outside of the ham bands. You can get in a lot of trouble for that. Of course, you could buy a business radio and have it programmed for the specific off-road, score racing, Baja, weatherman, or other frequencies. But where's the fun in that? They're expensive, and you have to pay somebody else to program them. So recently, my friends and I have kind of given up on the ham radios, and we've picked up a few of these Midland micromobiles. Great little radios. But in keeping with trying to be 100% legal, 100% of the time, I really was underwhelmed with the Midland GMRS handheld radio. It just looks cheesy. And I'm sorry, but it's kind of a prerequisite for my stuff. I don't want it to look cheesy. It's got to be, a little pizzazz to it. So I started searching around. Midland was underwhelming. None of the other main companies are making GMRS specific handhelds. I even looked at reprogramming Motorola's or ICOMs, and then I came across this little guy. This is the Rocky Talkie. It's a US company based out of Colorado. It's a darn good little radio. I can't tell you how impressed I am with this now that I've actually spent some time using it. We'll get into that a little bit more later on though. My specific need for a radio at this moment is twofold. One, convoy. You want to be able to talk to other vehicles around you. And I'm sorry, but that Baofeng beep every time they stop a transmission is really annoying. I hate it. So I'm trying to let friends borrow stuff like this so that I can actually stand to listen to them. The second reason I need a radio is when I'm driving through obstacles. I really want to be able to hand a radio to my spotter and have him guide me or other vehicles through, over, around whatever obstacle it is. I don't want it to be expensive. I don't want it to be clunky. It's got to be rechargeable, and I want it to be quality. And of course, I want it to look cool. The Rocky Talkie meets all of those for me. Hang tight, I'll show you some of the features. In all my trucks, I put a big speaker like this because I can't stand to have that tinny, really nasty audio coming out of your radio. It makes it really hard to hear people, and so you turn the volume way up, and now your ears are bleeding at the end of the trip. Not cool. This little Rocky Talkie has a great little speaker. Absolutely incredible in my mind. This little thing here is a better quality speaker than what you would get out of this Icon. Yeah, it's not quite as good as a Motorola, but you know what? Honestly, for the price, some Motorola's are like $2,500 now. This thing's not that. Very inexpensive, but very robust. I might add that I did try to borrow my daughter's radio, but I can't understand it. I kept getting made fun of. Huh, haters. Now let's talk about this. So the other night, when I was testing this and I discovered how well it worked, I may or may not have gone to Rocky Talkie's website and ordered another one. Okay, fine, I did. Now, just to be honest with you, I am not sponsored by Rocky Talkie. I paid for all of this stuff myself. I'm not sponsored by any other brand. I wouldn't mind. It'd be kind of cool. But no, all of this is just because I actually want to share something I really like. So, your Rocky Talkie comes in a box like this. Pretty basic. Clean, clear. Explains the range. Guys, if you get 25 miles of range out of here, unless one of you are in a paraglider, I have a hard time believing that. Every radio makes those claims. I just don't see it. 1 to 5 miles, that's a lot more like it. In buildings, half mile. But really sweet. So, inside the box, you have your Rocky Talkie. And a sticker. I didn't get a sticker with the last one. That's kind of cool. And then a USB-C type charger. On the bottom, we have our Rocky Talkie basics. This explains all the basics of what's going on in your radio, but I'll put a link below in the description for how to correlate these channels with the other channels. I think that these are leaving a lot of information off that should be there. That's all it is. One of the coolest features is if you happen to have 2 Rocky Talkies, oh look, I do, you can cycle through the first 22 channels, which will talk to any other GMRS or FRS radio, and then you can cycle through and have your own privacy codes automatically allocated. What that means is I can match channel 124 to channel 124, and it's going to have a key that will unlock the opposite radio, and it will block out all other channels. You won't get a lot of crosstalk, you won't get campers talking, and so forth. The other cool feature is if you want to talk to another FRS or GMRS radio, you can press and hold the minus sign here at the bottom, and you can go through and change the privacy code. In this case, it is the code tone. And once you get through all of those, it goes to digital coded squelch. One's analog, one's digital. Don't really need to know the difference, except if it in your other radio manual it says 123.1, then that's not a digital code. If it says 86, that is a digital code. And you kind of need to know the difference there. I'm going to put a link below to some instructions and some charts that will help you figure out what radio is doing what. So the features of this radio are really simple once you understand the basics. So in this case, I'm on channel 124, so let's get to one that doesn't have a pre-programmed code squelch or keytone. I'm going to press and hold the minus symbol, and I'm going to go to that chart that I'm linking below, and I'm going to select the code here that matches the chart that then matches your other radio. Yeah, it's a little confusing, but it works. Trust me. To get out of this menu, tap the push to talk. Then you have this high-low button, a plus sign. That H stands for high. Press and hold. Low. That means low power. If you're really close to somebody, like a couple hundred yards, use low. You're going to do 2 things. You're going to save your battery, and you're not going to emit needless chatter that's going to go way farther than you need it to. The plus and minus have a second feature. If you tap it, it changes your volume. I found that the volume on these things is just incredible. It's wonderful. Really impressive. Up top, you have your toggle. Again, pull it forward, change your channel, pull it towards you and hold, and it gives you a little key symbol there, which is lock. Press and hold towards the lock symbol again, the key symbol, it unlocks. Now, push it to the rear, and it starts scanning, if you're into that thing. And then, of course, you've got your power button here. Another cool feature, it has a USB-C charging port on the bottom. I'm really excited that a lot of things are going to USB-C. I think that it's a very robust, very capable standard, and it means that that's one fewer cables I have to carry with me. You can take the radio out of the protective pouch, and by depressing this little toggle, you can remove the battery. Rocky Talkie does sell additional batteries. With the battery life, I have not needed to buy a new battery yet. I find that one of these will last an entire trip for me. To put it back in the rubber case, slide the antenna in first and just kind of work it in from the top down to the bottom. One of the things I really like about this radio is the quality. And they're pretty proud of the fact that they use Mammut carabiners. These are not some off-brand made in China thing. I don't know what this one is, but even though it's not labeled, it's really good quality. There's actually a wire cable that goes through this. The idea is you clip that to your belt, clip this to your harness, and it works really quite nicely. When I was testing this guy a couple of weeks ago, I was comparing it with my ICOM. High quality, I had a known transmission. The audio quality coming through this was inferior to this. This is a much more expensive radio. This is a much better quality receiver and speaker. I was so impressed that I actually went out and I bought my second one. Thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate you listening. This is something I really am passionate about, and I'm really excited to see this company doing really well. I just hope that they come out with something with a little bit more power. Maybe a belt clip like this instead of the carabiner. I don't know. I just like these. But all in all, what a great little radio. Really excited. Little disclaimer, I am not sponsored by anybody. I paid full price for all these radios. I'm just sharing something that I really care about. Thank you so much. Take care. Have fun. Be safe.